Time, guys. Yeah. All right, we're going to start in closed guard now with your posture already broken. So effectively, kind of like we just were, where they don't have any limb isolation, but your head is like starting on their chest. All right, you can take bottom player, take whatever grips you want actually, and then your whole goal, if you're top player, is to stand up and break the closed guard. And bottom player, your job is just keep the posture broken the whole time. So bottom player's what? Keep posture broken. Closed guard. And if you're in the closed guard, the top player, your whole goal is to stand up to your feet and make them have to unlock their closed guard. All right.
If you stand up,
What's that?
if you get to your feet and they try to scoop you, or
It's gonna end when they unlock the guard. Yeah.
We can do, yeah. Let's show the roll. You ready when you are.
What's up, John?
good job, you broke it. Good job.
Just stand up, man.
Right. At least got some mass to him.
Just stand up.
That's
Okay, we zone through. Oh, yeah, I got you. Right, so we're here. So we can get it. What you're trying to play that time? Right.
40 seconds, guys.
Right. Stand up. Yeah, just stand up, bro. Right. You just have nothing on your feet. Arms. Yeah.
Time, guys.
We're right when they're dead.
Yeah, it's like on you.
Lucas, you mind being my cameraman?
100%.
It'll keep
I ain't
itself
tried,
like stabilized. If you basically wherever you're pointing this way is where it'll
Oh shoot, that's kind of cool.
around. It'll follow as you move your wrist.
All right, I'm gonna throw on my glasses so I don't screw this up. It doesn't help that much. All right, chat.
First do a quick recap last week where we left off. and then dive into some new stuff from the same position. So back in dorsal. All right, so we left off last week talking about various grip breaks from this position. So main thing about this is reading where is their grip? Like read the guy, read the man. So depending on where he is, like right now, Hudson is hiding his hand in his. Sometimes they'll grab their shorts. They'll just kind of lace the inside of their hamstrings, kind of try to hide the hand from you. And almost kind of self frame where they can even kind of use their leg to deny access or to kind of try to fight the battle as you're reaching for their hand or as you're reaching in here, they can kind of reinforce with their leg. This is also like applicable in the gi, maybe even more so because people will grab the gi pants. Like I know we're not at gi school, but like this, I think when we first like went through the system like years ago, we were still at gi school and it was really effective in the gi. You can reach down there and grab fabric, and that's way harder to deal with. So if he's down here, remember we can't grab 1, 2, or 3 fingers in jiu-jitsu, but we can grab 4. Okay, you can't grab less than 4. You can do whatever you want in a fight, but just you're gonna get DQ'd, and you're probably not gonna make many friends in here. Unless you have me, because I'm really forgiving, Pastor. But no, if you wanna grab fingers, that's totally cool. But you gotta grab 4. All right, and so also when he's got a grip however he wants, our grip strength gets really really weak as we fold fingers in on each other like a tortilla, like a taco shell. We taco the knuckles, right? So I'm really strong out here, right? But as my knuckles get caved in, my ability to really clench my fist becomes really, really impaired, right? And that's all we're doing here is I'm reaching through, I'm grabbing the outside of the index finger knuckle, the outside of the pinky knuckles, and I'm making the fingers cave in. Okay, so I'm grabbing in here. I'm gonna get a good grip, right? Yeah, get a good grip. Don't let me get it. Okay, right here, I'm gonna cave in the knuckles, and then I'm gonna pull out at an angle, so that now I'm just fighting the shoulder, right? If I'm here, I'm still fighting kind of. He's a little bit reinforced by his own body weight, his lats, his whole arm is in the way. Pulling at an angle makes the battle more against his rotator cuff. From here, I pummel my hand to the inside and find the wrist. Okay, one more time. Let's rotate just a little bit so I can see this. Okay, so if he's here, I'm gonna reach up, grab the outside knuckles, and I'm trying to make them fold in like a taco shell. Fold in and pull out. Okay. And from here, I'm keeping this grip and rolling my wrist inward so that I can get wrist to wrist with him in this transition. Once I'm wrist to wrist, it's pretty well secure. I'm going to get it. Okay. Because again, I don't really need like my thumb. I'm not really for a Kimura grip, not really trying to grab with my thumb. It's thumbless anyway. So really, as soon as I get to here and I roll my wrist inward, get wrist to wrist, suicide zone to suicide zone, right there. I'm good. Okay. From here, that's one. The other one, if he's got his hands really tight, if I've got daylight here between his torso, his trunk, and his elbow, if I can wedge my knee in here, this is probably the best, right? Because he can grip all he wants, but I can actually drive with my shin into the bicep. I can use my whole posture to break this. I can also post out with my leg if I need to. And if he's just incredibly strong, I can use both legs to get this broken. I also like this because it does expose what we're going to cover later tonight. This armpit exposure is going to open up some triangle territory for us, which is beautiful. All right, if he's closed off here, but he's really tight here, that's where we're going to come through, swim under, grab the hip socket right here on the bone itself with the meat of my hand, the outside meat of my hand, and I'm just taking my elbow towards the ceiling, like this. Okay. From here, I don't want him to collect it back. So as he fights to collect it back, I want to find that wrist, and not let him get it back. So those are the 3 main ones. And then we covered if you just cannot get this guy's grip broken, he's just a freight train. You just can't get it. If he's super tight, he's insistent on keeping the grip, then we can always just simply come over the top. And even if he keeps his hand in front, normally we're going to finish Kimuras with hand behind the back. But if he keeps it on top, we can still finish this guy right here by taking our foot kind of this way. Okay, just kind of It's still a Kimura. We're just using our leg. I just call that Tarika Plata. I don't honestly hunt those much, but it's something you can do. Hudson probably knows more about that stuff than me.
Yeah,
It's like that.
right now.
Yeah. So let's run those real quick. All right, just a recap. Does anybody need to see any of them again? Cool. Yep. Easy. Okay, cool. All right, 1, 2, 3. Let's run all 3 of them. We're just gonna spend a few minutes on it, then we're gonna go in some new territory. Thanks, sir.
Yes, sir.
You got all that?
Yeah. I don't know.
Let's see. Y'all round robin with Luke, because Luke's done this before.
Okay, so first one is like here, your leg right there.
Yes. Here.
So I that's like
Mhm.
and pull it all in.
Yes, out. Like so from here.
Am I here or out here?
So yeah, you're gonna swim.
Yeah. That looks like first tourist. And then the second one.
I can show you, Luke. Do you need to see it again?
He was dorsal, so he has a hand on here. You just grab 4 fingers or the knuckles. I mean,
Yeah, we're just doing all 3 grip breaks we did last week. So that's one, and then the other one is if we have elbow exposure or like daylight here, we can use our knee drive through the bicep to break it
oh, yeah.
if they've got it tight. The other one is swim through to the hip socket, flare the elbow. Yeah, your dad's taught all this before, so you probably know it.
Yeah, you can, well, you can hear like shit. You can
This was a Tarika Plata where
I think, no, you just bring it out, you bring it into the bicep. Yeah.
like this.
If there's a window there, yep, and you just pull it up, break it. Yep.
There you go.
And you could do it through the bottom, but you have to swing this leg over.
Yeah, there is like.
It's critical we maintain chest to tricep connection in this position. So I thought somebody asked me a question. Sorry.
Oh, I was gonna let you hit that trick bottom because you didn't shoot it down.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That.
And John,
Nice.
I want to see you sitting on his head.
Right.
Yeah, like it takes his ability to really start bridging effectively, like completely away. I mean, there are times where like you might transition, but just as a default, like especially in a relive role, you can be really unnice about this. Like, be really, really mean about this. And like when you just plop the weight down, the head goes. Like,
Yeah.
it's really hard to move.
Gotcha. Bring it to the other side. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
And then there.
Yeah.
Keep a little weight on.
See, now also this is what makes this grip so effective because you're on his head. His head can't follow as you start lifting. His head gets stuck, runs into your butt.
Yeah, and you're kind of sitting into my hand as well. Yeah, and just keep going. Just keep going.
Nice.
That's where my leg. Right. I just think about trying to do this, but
Go for it.
okay. So kind of like shoot my arms straddling.
Yeah.
That's really.
Here. Still right.
Break.
You kept the grip. You would have knocked the grip. Yeah.
Take that heel back towards his head. Yep. Now kind of sit into him while you take that heel north towards his shoulder.
Yeah.
Like you said, tap, look at your.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, it's just like bicep stuff.
Yeah.
Bicep slicer and
A little toward.
Man, that hurts.
Yeah, that's what happened to you.
Yeah.
You were doing that here.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
If there's anything.
It's your right. I grab my left. And just grab your side.
Yeah, you can like go. You can use that to like base off my head.
Yeah. Just by bringing the wrist there, so on my shoulder.
Okay.
Slowly, guys.
Okay.
That was good, Brendan.
Okay. Kind of use this so that it should be everything.
So once you get the that like hold where you hang,
Actually, we can.
yeah.
Yeah. Because though, I mean.
Yeah. Here, okay, have your wrist.
I'll you're listening, so that's why you left and right side shoulder. Because if I'm trying to adjust it here, and he's trying to sit up. I gotta worry about getting you back. To the back. So I'll try to kind of just sit on your stomach here. Or I'll go the other way, like a little bit. Shoot back in. Just to get better. But if you're on top, go ahead and go for those other drinks.
Be more on his hip, Josh. Like down at the you feel his bone with the palm of your hand. Yeah, you don't have to make a fist. You literally just here. And I just contour my hand like so. Right.
Yep. I just naturally ball up.
But if you check this out though, here, hold the camera for it. Right here.
Yeah.
All right, he's in tight. If I come through, swim right there to that bone, not too deep and not out here. Right there to that. Just sliding it back, and then here, I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna keep this chest to chest contact because I'm still gonna use my body. Does that make sense? Yeah, I just maintain right here the whole time. I'm not having to squeeze a whole lot. It's more my body breaking the grip. I'm just using the angle to create, or the elbow to create an angle. I'm still driving actually off of my legs a little bit. Like my whole body's involved here, if that makes sense. I'm not doing this. See how my body barely moves? No, my body moves.
That's more. Yeah. So it's not your wrist.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, further.
You can run that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, think about using your whole body and just using that elbow just to create the angle you need. But I want you to make sure you keep that underhook on with your other arm. We're not basing out with our other arm. We're keeping that. Yeah, because we got to keep that elbow no matter what. Right, and I want you to focus on straightening your arm. Just try to keep your hand open to see how it works for you. See which one feels better. I mean, closed fist feels better for you. Go for it. But I think it's less work to just like do this, because I'm not tense with my arm that much. I'm really moving more with my body. I'm just like using this. I'm using my body to straighten my arm instead of straightening my arm.
Is it easier if it's higher up? Because I feel like if it's right on the elbow, it might be harder. But maybe if I got deeper.
If I think I'm just elbow to elbow with him, right? I think so. I'm not sure. Let me try. I think I'm just accidentally a little bit. Go ahead.
So much cheese being that's pretty nice.
Well, I mean, if anything, I'm actually lower. But
What's it called?
you can.
I'm over up.
I might elbow to elbow. You feel like I'm not like trying to straighten my arm so much as I'm using my body. I'm using my body, like shifting where my head goes to straighten my arm. Instead of straightening my arm. I don't know if that makes sense at all.
Yeah, that's fair.
Get real tight.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not trying to straighten my arm as much as I'm just thinking about shifting my body weight.
I see.
Oh, we got inverted.
Oh.
Top man.
You'll hit it.
All right, guys. Let's. Is everybody mostly getting that? Did anyone struggle with any of them? Cool. Let's. Here, we'll move on a bit. See what the heck is going on here.
I have no idea. I'm just kind of Computer. Wow.
There we go. There we go.
Dude, that's kind of wicked. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm still figuring out how it works. All right.
Where'd you even buy this? Amazon or something?
Does that keep it level?
Dude, it like look, it like moves the phone.
DJ.
That's very cool.
It's like whoa.
All right, we're gonna dive into side triangle territory now, which is very much related because if we're in dorsal, if I'm in dorsal and I manage to ever get my heel to the inside of the armpit here, this is where I can start entering side triangle territory. Okay, just heel to the armpit. Because look at this position. If I just forget dorsal for a second, what's our criteria for a triangle? That all triangles, like what's true of it? One arm, one in, one out, right? So I've got one arm between my legs. I've got one out of my legs, right? So what's the second principle to make triangles effective? To actually get the finish.
Cut the right angle.
Yes, but what does that accomplish?
You can cut off.
Cover the shoulder.
Is that what you're talking about?
Cover the shoulder.
Always.
Hip placement.
Has to do with the shoulder. Remove the shoulder.
Oh, yeah, removes the shoulder.
Sorry, I'm not trying to be overly cryptic. My bad. I was just trying to help you recall a little bit. So, one in, one out, and removing the shoulders. That's always what's going to create like optimal strangulation. All right. So here, the side triangle entry, instead of like it might look like if the head were to come to the inside, I've got the rear triangle. Right. We've already been over this. The side triangle, I'm actually going to. This is going to be the choke arm, right? And where this is going to be my strangle leg. This is going to be my support leg, right? The way we're going to attack this is actually take my bottom side leg out and behind him. Okay, so now I've got a head and an arm in between my legs. Everybody see this so far? All right. So the finish, just like any triangle, we have a trap triangle here, right? Like it's not an actual figure four. It's just I just trapped the head and arm, right? So much the same. We're gonna set up a triangle, much the same. We'll still think of it in two phases. Okay. Sometimes you might skip phase and want to go straight to phase two. Okay, but like we're still gonna. You can still conceptually think about this in two phases. Like as long as I have his head and arm trapped between my legs, I have a good degree of control. The actual finish here is going to come from my ability to get my knee pit to his tricep and remove my leg from his shoulder line. What I mean by that is if my leg is really under his back here, I'm never going to finish a side triangle, okay? My leg must be north of the shoulder line, similar to how when we ran the front triangle, I'm always talking about getting your lower leg north of the shoulder line. What's that doing? It's removing the shoulder from the choke, okay? So as I get my support leg north of the shoulder line, now when I actually start to lock up the figure four in a second, there won't be shoulder. So
When you say north of the shoulder line, which shoulder?
So my leg, yeah. So here's his shoulder line, right? So now my leg is north. No, okay, not north like this way, north like this way,
Okay.
like in relation to his shoulder. It's behind. Let's say behind the shoulders. Like, what's
Above
there
the
might be-
shoulders.
Above the shoulders, right? Yeah, I'm saying north. I don't even know which way is north.
I'm in
It
two.
might be that way for all I know. I don't.
I was just saying like as opposed to here.
Yeah, I don't.
North of that.
I want my leg out of the shoulders.
Okay.
Right. However we need to say that. All right. So here though, the finish is going to come from my ability to get my knee pit to the tricep, not to the shoulder. That's going to be a common mistake. Is trying to finish him with the shoulder still in the choke. All right. We want to remove the shoulder. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go belly down here. All right. I'm going to extend both legs. And now as I start to come back to my hip, I curl in, bringing my knee pit to this tricep here. Okay. And I extend my bottom leg. This allows me to lock the figure of four. And now I'm going to curl both legs inward. That's the actual strangle, okay? So one more time. Here, let's just say we got into our position. We have a trap triangle, okay? I'm never going to choke him. If I just start trying to go here and my knee's way up here, I'm not even in the tricep. There's all kinds of things wrong. My bottom knee is touching his shoulder right now. I'm never going to get the strangle here, okay? So we have to be able to recognize when we have a good bite on the choke and when we don't.
and be able to calmly adjust. Because I still have a ton of control here, right? Even as he starts trying to fight out, I still have a ton of control over his head, and I have a figure of 4. And if I need to, I'll just go back to Kimura trap for a second, right? It's we have so much control here. If you rush this, you get stupid, then you lose like maybe one of my favorite positions, which is probably one of the best positions, because you just have when I have the Kimura, and I have either this side triangle, Yoko Senkaku, or I can transition to the Kimura trap like underneath him. You have so much offense you can mount from this position. It's just incredible. It's probably my favorite position to be in. All right, but from here, what we're gonna do, the actual drill. I want you to have your figure of 4. We're gonna have our trap triangle. The first thing I need to do is make sure I make my adjustment. So as I shift my foot out, I'm gonna plant the ball of my bottom foot out on the mat, and I'm gonna turn my hips towards the ceiling. Okay, and I'm gonna post out my head on the mat, like so, straightening both my legs. Okay, you can reach back and grab the hand if you need to. Okay, from here, as I start to resit, this is going to cause, if my leg is under his shoulder, it's going to cause it to come out where it's out of the shoulder, or behind the shoulder, whatever you want to call that, right? Under the head.
The shoulder.
What's that?
East of the shoulder.
East of the shoulder. Right? As I come out to as I come back to my hip, I curl and extend the bottom leg. Okay. From here, I'm able to get my knee pit to the tricep. Okay. I don't want to be like down here on the shoulder. I want to be in the tricep, and I can lock my figure of 4 right there, and I curl both feet inside. And I'm bringing both. I'm curling. Once I've locked the figure of 4, I'm curling both.
That's me.
Double leg curl. Does that make sense? Questions? Let's try that, and then let's just get straight into the position, and then we'll enter there from dorsal. Somebody's really popular.
That is me. I think that's me at least.
All right, questions?
So many, but.
Run it a little bit. All right, run it a little bit. This one's a little tricky at first to get, and then once you get it, it's incredibly tight. All right, 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Thank you so much.
What's he saying?
Could you do it on? I'm sorry.
Yeah, dude. Oh, thanks, bro. All right.
Yeah, I think here.
Yeah, so you can go ahead and get there from. We'll do it for the side.
Yeah, just out here.
We can also just get there from the Kimura trap, but he already probably knows this, right? As long as I can get, my whole goal is I have a figure of 4, and I can get my heel over the head and to the opposite. But this is the setup. Here.
And then this one's right here.
This one kicks back. Okay. And let's just go ahead and.
Face us so we can see your wheel.
Yeah. Let's go to this side. Yeah, get all that in the back. All right. Here, I'm coming over the head and to my heels to the armpit. Okay. I've got my figure of 4. Now I'm going to kick my knee behind and have a trap. Okay. Okay. I'm just locking it in my cap. I'm not trying to actually choke him yet. Okay. Now I need to make my adjustment. Okay, so I'm going to, you can grab the wrist or the elbow, but what I really want to focus on, I'm going to come out on the balls of my feet and turn my hips up towards the ceiling and take my head towards the mouth. Both legs.
And that's just to get that last bit of shoulder out of there.
Yes, and it's going to make it easier for me to get my knee pit.
Yeah.
That's straight. It's easier to get those triceps.
I noticed it would. I don't get in this a lot often, but if I saw it coming, I would try to thread my head to the mat. So I couldn't do it because you were so tight. But it's like I see why the scissors so important right there.
Yeah, and also I'm taking my hips up, so where I kind of bring this in.
Yeah. That's what I felt. Yeah.
Now as I sit back to my hips, I'm gonna kick my this leg straight. This leg is gonna curl in here.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll lock into my knee pit. Okay, and now I'm curling both feet inside.
Close, yeah.
Really trying to like stand up on this, on the ball of this, but I think.
Yeah, that's great.
Jay-Z, we can.
Yeah, dude.
What's going on with this? Yeah. I can't even see.
Let's see it. Let's do it.
Let me start from
This one's kind of a tricky one
There's a lot of moving parts.
at first.
Okay.
I need to still have it. Right.
Yeah. All right, now I just want you to focus on getting here. Just open this up. Let's just drill it for a second. All right, get your heel to his armpit. Okay. Keep your figure of 4. Okay. Now, as you come to your hip, I want you to kick your left knee straight to where it ends up behind his head. Just kick it straight. Just kick it straight. Perfect. Yeah. Right.
Now get up on this.
Now, I want you to reach back with your. I want you to keep your. No, I want you to keep your underhook. Right. I want you to reach and just grab his elbow with your right hand or his wrist, whichever you can reach. Okay. I want you to take your left ball your feet out and start to use this to drive your hips up, like high five me with your butt right here. Take your head to the ceiling. Okay. Come up, straighten both your legs. Try to straighten both your legs. Perfect. Now, as you sit to your hip, I want you to curl your right leg in as you pull that arm. Pull all the slack out of his arm and curl your right leg in.
Try and bring this to my tricep, right?
Yeah. Bring your shoelaces to your knee pit. Bring your shoelaces all the way to your knee pit, and now curl in both legs. Okay. Now you can come back to your hip with your figure 4. Now you're just curling your. Now it's just a leg curl, double leg curl.
And then just keep straight.
We're just trying to leg curl in. I think your knee pit's a little high still. Ideally, the pit of your knee should be on the tricep. You're kind of like still a little on the bicep. Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was some pressure.
That was really biting me.
Yep. Focus on taking your hips up.
Good. That's crazy.
My life. Story of your life. I don't even get out there.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Try to
Whenever you push your hips up, I think you need to get this a little bit higher. I don't know.
Yes, he's right. When you come up, really try to come up to where your butt is literally pointing at the ceiling. All right, as much as possible, and try to maintain that connection that you actually have between like your ass and his head. Right, like if you're coming away from him, that means you're actually going to be like far away from the shoulder, further away from the shoulder.
Especially if you're pulling this.
So we want to cinch up all the space.
And by higher, I guess you're saying just
Is he like
generally.
Is he like pulling my
Yeah.
head to like his like gooch? Is that what the idea is? Like,
Basically.
get me up in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically,
Okay.
this one's a little tricky.
It feels like I'm doing what you're saying, but I can't see it either to tell like how far off I am.
It took me a minute. I didn't get this first time. It was taught to me.
And
for what it's
do
worth.
it to him, and maybe
So it's-
like, you'll see.
I will.
That side. Do it to him.
Yeah.
And show him like, okay.
Feet your right, left leg at your right leg.
Let's go straight there.
This is where I, right? I was kind of you've seen that like. You gotta show up with your
Three.
Okay.
Triangle. Down here. I'm gonna bring this ball out.
It's not too loose.
I straighten both legs.
Two, and then one day.
Does that work?
A little bit high. Like, I mean, you squeeze as hard as you can.
Definitely come to work.
I can feel something a little off there. But the idea is when I come up, I want to take my. I'm here. I'm gonna use this ball of my foot. Kick my hips up, but I'm not trying to do that way. Right? I'm gonna cinch up all the space. So I'm just.
Yeah, I felt that. I felt that part whenever it cinched it. Like,
Straightening my legs when I come up. Right? I'm not doing this. I'm like literally trying to come.
I see.
Yep. Makes sense?
yeah,
Keep trying. Like I said, I had to get this first time.
yeah. It makes sense. It's just, I think also it's gonna take a minute.
Yeah, this is a little more. This requires some more dexterity. I need to build some. So like you felt that angle off. Like I need to build some. So
I think it's more that you're on already.
Cool.
Alright, so here, I got, is it right arm and left arm like this?
Yeah.
Okay, that's it.
Yes.
Okay. And then when I'm coming here,
Right heel to his armpit. Get it over his arm.
right foot.
Take your right heel over his arm. Yeah.
Okay.
Now just go down to the hip and kick your left leg through. Yep.
And then whenever I go back
Now grab this.
for this,
Yep.
and then I'm going in.
Yep. It's better. Now as you come to your hip, curl your right leg in. You want your knee pit on his tricep as you come back to a hip. Right? So even right now you're still kind of going over the shoulder a little bit. You're just going right back down to a hip. Right? Yeah. So see that good.
Yeah.
Bring your knee over. Right? Now curl this, lock this up.
Okay.
That's gonna be a little better, but I think something's still a little.
Thighs are thick enough for this.
What's that?
I don't know if my thighs are thick enough.
Yeah, this one's let's see. We need to debug this a little more. Yeah, you're gonna have to really emphasize getting the knee pit to the tricep. No. You're gonna keep that. Right. So you see how your knee pit is like way up here?
Yeah.
It needs to be like here.
Okay.
Yeah. And allow your hips to move freely as you need to in order to accomplish that.
No, you can.
Allow your hips to move if you have to shift them in order to accomplish the right angle.
I see.
The choke comes from your knee, your bottom knee being north of the shoulders, and this knee pit being in the tricep.
Okay.
So move your hips however you need to.
I see. But not really. I can take it. It's kind of weird. Yeah, I don't like that. Definitely got you in something. I ain't going anywhere.
Well,
Might be too advanced.
no, I just need to figure out a better way of teaching it. Let me try one more time.
All right. Besides just raising up, yeah, that push back a little bit too. It's right. Like what?
Yeah, I definitely don't want to go away. So I try to make sure I feel that guy's head in my.
Yeah. Yeah.
To put it bluntly. Yeah, I feel like the trap triangle helps keep it all like press as you were saying, like the other side ones kind of get them into the. I don't know. I feel like yeah, and always go back.
It's like 10 years case. Right there. So that's crazy. I was I do that one more time. You like slowly.
The transition part where you go up on all.
I remember it's kind of.
Get on my leg with your shoulders a little more so I can really should. Sorry, your back. Oh, like this?
Yeah. So like this is like
Perfect. I'm just gonna sit for your shoulder. Like the worst.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Like this, it crosses over. It's like a modified. I can do it. Baseball. Yeah. I do baseball.
If you get like my arm.
I would say too. It looked like you got past even his tricep. Yeah. Or you try like when you went head forehead down, and I think that's what we're not doing probably.
Yeah, pass.
Like whenever you went when you're saying back of his knee needs to be on the tricep. Like when you straighten both legs to try and get in tight. I guess like you turned over to your head down.
Yeah, I got put.
The back of your knee didn't just get like your area. It got a little bit past his knee, so that when you would bend your knee across, I guess, to the triangle.
Okay, yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
Like you gave yourself
I-
extra room to do it.
Yeah, my knee pit never really went above your elbow.
Yeah.
I feel like
It was just like very little.
yeah. Yeah, try it again.
Yeah, I think that's a good observation.
Yeah.
Try that. Yeah.
Kind of like just sitting there, just like sitting there. I went out before 30 seconds. I gotta hear it 30 seconds.
Well, yeah, this is just it's just one entry. Yeah, you can.
Out straight now.
I think Nikki.
Yeah. He also hit this at EBI in 2023. Yeah. It was the first moment where I was like, okay, he's actually learning some jujitsu.
When I saw that in trials, I was like, that's just beautiful. Because like he gets set up right in that spot, reaches back, and then locks it down. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Well, before that, maybe I hadn't watched enough matches. I just hadn't seen anything from
I've
him
never done
outside of a rear naked choke or just a face crank. And I was like, okay, cool. But like, I want to see some finesse. And then like I saw, yeah, I saw it, and I was like, okay,
It was going right.
he's evolving. Now I'm watching him in the training room stuff, and he's just so like relaxed and calm. And I'm like, dude, that's scary.
Yeah.
That's real scary.
He'll just guard me too.
That's great.
Real scary.
Yeah, hold it
And then
down.
today, so doing a lot of leg
Instead of
locks.
just going up, I
Yeah.
Yeah.
toward you a little bit. Yeah.
Hey guys, let's talk about it just a little bit more real quick. Chat. If I could read you. Too bad I can't.
Y'all, other than, I guess we'll at least look at what it looks like. You know, if you're trying to set this up for dorsal, all we're looking for is that exposure right here, right? If we got this exposure, if we're able to separate these grips, right? And if he makes, sometimes they'll even make the mistake of just coming under the split because they think it's going to do something like great, right? But my whole target is if I'm in dorsal and I can get my heel to his armpit, we're there. Right? All I got to do is follow my hip. Okay. So I can remember, no matter what, always control the elbow. So I'm gonna keep my chest here. I want to maintain my underhook. I can grab this elbow if I'd like, and all I have to do is follow the hip and straighten my bottom leg. Make sense? Trap triangle. Now I just need to make my adjustment. Okay. My knee pit has to be in the tricep. Okay. Right now it's way over here. It's under his armpit. Okay. So for me to make this adjustment, I make this adjustment by straightening my legs. So I'm going belly down here. Right. I'm not driving my head away from him. I just want to I want to keep all this space. I just want my hips to go up. So I'm going to stay really heavy on him and then on his head. And I'm just shifting my head down to the mat, not way back here, but just right here. I'm going belly down. I'm taking my hips towards the ceiling and straightening my legs. I'm straightening my legs. Okay. Now I'm going to curl in to where my knee pit makes contact with his tricep as I come back down. Now I can lock and now I can squeeze. Okay. You've got to straighten your legs, and you have to have the knee pit in the tricep. Still in the bicep. It's not really it's not really going to create a good amount of pressure. We want it in the tricep. We don't want it around here. Does that make sense? Like I said, I didn't actually get this one the first time that Nick taught it to me, but eventually it clicked. But that's straighten the legs without your hips going away from them. Keep all the space you have, like keep all of it taken up. We're actually taking more space up by straightening our legs. I don't want my hips or my head to move away from their body at all. Cool. Any questions? Let's run in a couple more minutes, and then we're gonna do a round, and then we'll do whatever y'all want, but we're gonna all at least get one positional round in. Cool. All right, 1, 2, 3.
You try it.
And I go on and make the showers.
Cool, bro.
This is dope. I've always wanted to hit this, and like I feel like I can know the steps now, so it's cool.
Yeah.
'Cause especially with what you've been teaching about the dorsal Kimura, that's been like my main entry to Tarikapara. So now I feel like I got a lot more off than just going for that. Like if someone makes it difficult to get my leg over, I can just
Maybe the mushroom.
If someone,
yeah, that's cool.
we call it Ichiban internally because of all the buffet of options. Like that's what we've always called it. Is even before I've got like once I just have a trap triangle here, we call it
Yeah.
Ichiban because you also I didn't even talk about this, but like you have a gnarly or Americana on that top.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It doesn't take
Okay.
much once your legs are pinched in. You're like,
Yeah.
you just go, doot,
Mhm.
like it's easy. Like if for some reason you get this deep and that you're just not,
Don't get the choke, just go
you
to the
can't
arm.
hit it. Just
Yeah, I was just thinking that. But I was like, whenever I get to where I'm just like cranking face or
let
something.
me show real quick. 'Cause
Yeah,
they
yeah,
should see that. They should see. Hey, y'all! Real quick. I'm sorry. I was reminded of another thing you have here. That's just
This thing's kind of.
it's too good not to just show you real quick. It's too simple. It doesn't.
It's also a great fail safe if you're just not getting the choke. If I've done all my adjustments, all this good stuff here, I've done my adjustment, blah blah blah, and this guy's not choking. Okay, but if he's not going out, whatever, something's off. I don't know. Right, all this tight lock we have on the shoulder that we fought to get, we made our adjustment. It creates so much immobilization in the shoulder joint that we call this Ichiban. This is what we call this at Grapple because I still have a figure 4. I have a wrist lock here. Okay. I have the Yoko Senkaku, the side triangle. I also have a you'd be really, really gentle about this. I have a pretty tight Americana here. Here. I also have a Kimura that's very tight. It doesn't take much at all. Just a few inches. Okay. I've got wrist locks down here. I can also take his back. Like we call it Ichiban, right? If you get Ichiban, you should have a high sub rate, all right? But just look, if you've made the adjustment, the shoulder joint is real. If your lock is actually on the tricep, and they're still not choking, you still created so much immobility here. It doesn't take much at all to just get a shoulder lock in either direction. Or you can wrist lock them if you want. You know, if you wrist lock it by a competition, you get $200 from me. I'm just saying.
That would be insane.
Don't break the wrist, but you break the wrist,
guy.
you only get 100.
I get the wrist.
Yeah, I don't think I'm sure.
Quick legs. That's like rotation.
Yeah, it's just such a good position. Like there's so much offense from there. So and it all comes from. I mean, you can set that particular position up for a lot of places, but I get it from Dorfish. Yeah, we call it Ichiban.
Oh, yeah.
Once you're there,
Yeah.
once I've got the head and arm trapped, my legs, I've got the Kimura on the other side.
Right.
I've got like 7 things I can do there, and they're pretty much at your mercy because they're pretty well pinned. So. All right.
Try one of those.
Thanks for watching. If you want to come and try a class, first class is free. GrappleJJ.com. First class is free. We're located right here inside of Focus Fit, right off the interstate in Pearl, Mississippi. Come by anytime. We'd love to have you.